Subscribe now because what you're about to hear isn't just a sequel. It's the explosion that follows the first spark. And in this second act, the stakes are higher, the betrayals cut deeper, and the silence from one of Harlem's most iconic duos turns into something deafeningly loud. After Jim Jones erupted in public, after the Chrissy video leaked, after Cam'ron vanished into luxury and Chrissy filed lawsuits that had the streets whispering, what came next was nothing, short of the biggest backroom bloodletting in hip-hop history. You see, when most people thought the Dipset war had hit its peak, a brand new leak dropped. A private audio recording of Jim Jones in a closed-door industry meeting where he claims Cam'ron once blackmailed him using unreleased Dipset tour footage, allegedly demanding a payout to suppress damaging material that could destroy Jim's brand. The moment that recording hit the blogs, the narrative flipped overnight. No longer was this just about a leaked tape of Chrissy. Now it was about years of manipulation, control, and quiet threats behind the scenes. In the leaked audio, Jim can be heard saying, "He told me to pay, or he'd make me look weak. That man been plotting on me." That one line became the quote of the week, fueling a new wave of fan theories that Cam had been staging his moves for years, playing chess while Jim was playing family. But what nobody expected was for Cam to still stay silent, unbothered, letting his legacy hang in the fire while sipping wine poolside in Miami, reposting memes and watching the internet implode. Meanwhile, Chrissy's lawsuit was now active in court, naming Cam'ron and an unknown accomplice in a bombshell claim of defamation, malicious intent, and loss of income tied directly to the leaked footage. And get this, the documents didn't say Jim was innocent either. In fact, buried in the legal fine print was a subtle acknowledgement that even Jim may have known the video existed before it dropped. That one detail had fans losing it. Was Jim truly blindsided? Or was he quietly hoping the sympathy wave would boost his public image and crush Cam's credibility? Twitter detectives, Reddit sleuths, and YouTube breakdown channels exploded with side-by-side comparisons, connecting dots from old interviews, lyrics, and social media behavior. People were pulling receipts from 2003 to now, replaying Dipset interviews where Cam disrespected Chrissy on camera, questioning her influence, mocking her relationship with Jim. One 2009 clip resurfaced of Cam saying, "Jimmy let her run the team, her salon." And suddenly, the narrative wasn't just about loyalty. It was about power, about men in Harlem grappling for control while pretending to be brothers. But the real gut punch came from the music industry itself. An email leak from a music exec exposed that Dipset had just been offered a $10 million global reunion tour 1 week before the scandal dropped. That tour, gone. That money, evaporated. That dream of unity, dead on arrival. Jim, understandably, devastated, posted just one word on Twitter: betrayed. Cam, in typical fashion, liked a tweet that said, "Sometimes bridges need to burn so you see who's chasing you." Fans went feral. Was Cam confirming it? Was this all a calculated takedown of Jim's career, Chrissy's brand, and the Dipset legacy in one stroke? At the same time, Jim released a new track, "Resurrect Me," spitting bars like, "This with my blood, now they drowning me in silence." The internet called it the most personal verse he's ever written. But Cam's counter wasn't a diss track, it was something more sinister. He signed a streaming deal for a docuseries titled The Real Story of Dipset, a multi-part expose promising unseen footage, unreleased songs, and raw behind-the-scenes drama. That move alone split the internet. Some called it brilliant, others said it was Cam monetizing pain, profiting off betrayal. But the ultimate twist came from Chrissy, who returned not just with legal fire, but with branding power. She launched a public-facing PR campaign called Protect Your Peace, tying into her lawsuit and claiming she was targeted as a woman with influence in a male-dominated empire. She was photographed walking into court holding hands with her legal team, wearing all white, the press flashing lights like it was a Hollywood red carpet. Fans started calling her the Olivia Pope of Harlem, and suddenly, this wasn't just about rap. It was about image, influence, and power in public perception. Then things got darker. A former Dipset tour manager went on record saying that during a 2011 overseas tour, Cam froze Jim's tour payments to teach him a lesson. He told the promoter, "Don't pay Jimmy until he apologizes." That claim set off a new wildfire. Even Jules Santana started liking shady posts about real ones getting used, and insiders hinted that Freaky Zeke was planning to release his own tell-all book. Harlem wasn't just watching anymore, it was choosing sides. Meanwhile, Cam's cousin Mahe jumped in, saying in a viral IG Live, "You can't preach brotherhood while plotting sabotage." That statement alone got millions of views and sent shockwaves through the rap world. But the internet's favorite twist? A burner account that had been anonymously defending Cam for months was accidentally linked to a Miami hotel IP address Cam had recently posted from. Fans connected the dots, and suddenly Cam was accused of defending himself from the shadows, pretending to be a fan while dragging Jim through the mud. But Cam stayed on brand, silent, cold, calculated. His only public statement was an IG story, showing a cracked Dipset chain on a marble table and the caption, "All empires fall." Meanwhile, Jim kept the heat coming, dropping another track titled "Silence Kills Kings," with a music video of him burning a pink bandana. Fans were divided. Some said Jim was going too far. Others said Cam had this coming for years. But the ultimate gut check came when another leak dropped. This time, private text messages between Cam and an unnamed label exec planning a press campaign to discredit Jim by painting him as emotionally unstable and too tied to Chrissy's shadow. That's when even Cam's defenders started falling back. The messages said, "We hit him where it hurts, his heart, his home, and his fans." The timing, the tone, the cold strategy, it was everything fans feared. That this wasn't a fallout, it was an assassination. But the streets weren't done. Harlem OGs started posting cryptic messages online. One said, "You can't play God without becoming the devil." Others hinted that a major Harlem legend was preparing to mediate the drama before it destroyed everyone's legacy. Some even whispered that Diddy had reached out privately to try and squash the beef. But then came the final punch. Chrissy filed an additional amendment to her lawsuit, now naming Dipset LLC and citing misuse of image, unauthorized monetization of her likeness, and psychological damages stemming from years of behind-the-scenes intimidation. The lawsuit totaled over $15 million. At that point, even industry lawyers said, "This is no longer about rap, it's corporate warfare." But the most painful moment came days later when Jim went live one final time. No yelling, no tears, just a man, sitting alone, staring into the camera saying, "We ain't brothers. We never were. I just didn't want to believe it." That clip went more viral than any track, tweet, or video in the entire saga. And Cam? He reposted an old Dipset photo and simply wrote, "Legendary," while it lasted. No tags, no names. Just an ending. And that's what this story feels like. An ending. Not just of Dipset, but of the myth that loyalty lasts forever in an industry where everyone is watching, waiting, and willing to burn you to build themselves. The fans, some left, some stayed, some can't listen to the music the same way anymore. And Chrissy, she's rebranding. Sources say she has a documentary in development called When Loyalty Hurts, and it's already trending, so now we wait. Wait for verdicts, for court rulings, for statements, for part 3. But if part 2 proved anything, it's this. When the empire falls, it's never just the kings who get buried, it's the whole kingdom. Subscribe now, because what's coming next might just be the final nail in the Dipset coffin.